Hi everyone, it's Anthem, Muck Anthemy Pants from HeelvsBabyface here, representing my boys, over at BioWare, because last night were the Game Awards, and I was pimped out, decked out, ready to support Anthem, to see how many categories they were nominated in, how many awards they won. Not a thing. Wow! Not a thing. Couldn't believe it. And I'm just like, but Anthem 2.0 is just around the corner. Kotaku told me. So everybody who's like hating on Anthem, they better get to the program. But you know, I was surprised. I did my bit. Did you? I don't think so. So I feel a bit upset for the chaps and chapesses over at BioWare. Right, it was the Game Awards, or as I like to call them, Jeff Keighley throws a party for himself and organises his own entertainment, whether you like it or not. And for the most part, it was shit. There were some rays of sunshine scattered here and there, but it was so obnoxious. It really was. It's an industry award, so obviously they're sniffing their own farts, but it was just 3 hours of adverts, essentially. Just 3 hours of adverts with a little smattering of an announcement here or there. And, I was bored. Absolutely bored to tears. And then there were some cringe events, and then there were some... It was not good. It was not good. I distinctly remember last year being more entertaining than this year. This year was it was a snooze fest. But one of the bright lights, you could say, that emerged from this was the world premiere. That's what they like to say. World premiere. And then they put the screen on it. Oh my God. Oh, it's just another mobile game. And it was the Xbox Series X, which is the name for the new Xbox. Rolls off the tongue, huh? Yes, I'd like to buy an Xbox Series X, please. Xbox One rolls off the tongue. Xbox One X even rolls off the tongue. I'd like an Xbox Series X. Bit clunky. Maybe they'll just... it'll just be called Xbox. By the time it releases, it'll just be Xbox. Anywho, let's just have a look at the aesthetics. Because if you saw the thumbnail, yes... I got my boy Trip666 made this for me. Thank you ever so much indeed. I gave him the criteria that I wanted. To me, it kind of looks like a cigarette diffuser. And the irony was, right? At the Game Awards, there were just tons of stop vaping adverts. Stop vaping, people. Well, yeah, if I buy this, it's going to be fine, because the diffuser's just going to take care of it. Now, look, before people start jumping down the throat, oh, you're such a hater! It's just an aesthetic, all right? It's just an aesthetic. The Xbox One looked ugly as hell. It was a brick, and it just looked like a VCR from 1984. That's what it looked like. And then I remember but I remember Major Nelson. I like Major Nelson, but I remember Major Nelson putting out this video of the person who designed it, going through the process of how he designed it. Yes, this is my process of how I came up with the design of the Xbox One. You looked at a VCR from the 1980s! End of inspiration, sunshine. Don't tell me otherwise. The Xbox One X, which I am boasting over here as well, that looks sleeker, you know, but it's a black box at the end of the day. The PlayStation 4 had a little bit more about it, because it was angular, so they tried to do something. But, we've got the cigarette diffuser, the smoke diffuser, great for allergies, but it's just an aesthetic. So, what's important is obviously what it can do. The power, and all that sort of stuff. So, they released a very short video to go alongside it. And there's a voiceover which is going, if you could sleep a night and live 75 years, what would you do? It's, there. And it's kind of trying to show off the power, what how things can look on it. Because apparently all of this is produced on the Xbox One X. No, the Xbox Series X. You see? But here, so they show the level of detail that you can have. Rocks, foliage, the amount of, items that you can get on the screen at any one time, yada, yada, yada. So they're really showing off what the power, the water effects look gorgeous. Water effects do look gorgeous. Yes, this is a pre-rendered advert, a pre-rendered presentation put forward for it. But this is all on the Xbox Series X. It's not on the PC. Which has been done in the past. Which has been done in the past and then fobbed off. I gotta say, I just gotta stop it there for a second. Now, feel free to chime in here, folks, but the animation, not so good, I don't think. When you go to Master Chief, it's a, I don't know. But it looks lovely. If I just, let's say, pause it here. Now, you're only going to get this in 1080, but I actually have this on my screen on 4K, because I got these 4K monitors. I'm running this at 4K. So I can actually see. And it does look beautiful. So if this is what they are going to say is going to be how things will look in-game, then it's going to be very impressive indeed. You can't see because I'm in the way. I'll just myself. They're trying to show off different things. Some explosions over here, smoke effects, mist effects. What's the word I'm looking for? Visibility. It's not the word I'm looking for, but that's all I can say for now. Your view scales and all that sort of stuff. And even you can still see from a fair distance away that there is distinct foliage, etc. here as well. So if this is them trying to pass this off as in-game, it's very impressive. Because obviously, on current generation, you'd be getting a lot of popping with stuff like this. A lot of popping. View distance. I got it in the end. View distance. It's, high view distance. So that's what they showed off. And that is pretty much it. So they go back, we see lighting. One of the reasons why they want to show off the lighting is ray tracing. It just works. Ray tracing. I am interested in finding out more about World War II through your game. Ray tracing. It just works. Oh, God, that was so cringe when... Ugh. And then we have everything encapsulated in this rectangular object, which of course turns out to be the Xbox. So it's very 2001, this, actually. Don't you think? Very 2001 with the monoliths. Do you think that's the look they were going for? I don't know. So yeah, they show off a little bit more of it. So notice here, it is going to have a disk drive again. Remember last time they really wanted the Xbox One to just be digital only, and that kind of got scuppered as people. I want a tangible product. Yeah, I fully understand the benefits of digital only, but then we get into, as we've had recently, some very dodgy territory when it comes to ownership. I want to have ownership of my stuff that I'm paying my money for, ultimately. So yeah, that's what it was. There we go. This lights up green. So it's fine. It's fine. Take the Mickey, sure. Take the Mickey a little bit out of the aesthetic, sure, but it's fine. Now, I've heard some people say to me, don't you think it kind of bridges the gap, or sort of bridges between console and PC, the aesthetic of it? And I'm like, yeah, fine. But do you want that as a console? That's a question. I think a legit question. Do you want that as a console? Because your competitor is the PC. So you really, if I'm just saying, you'd really want your consoles to look very different, very snazzy, not towers. Not towers that we have now. You'd want it to be something a little bit different. But that's just by the by. So let's get on to some specifics, shall we, folks? Let's get on to some specs. Now, Phil Spencer was very vague in his press release and interviews about absolute specifics. But we kind of have an idea of what's going to be in. Now, they did say that there'll be a custom AMD Zen 2 chipset in, with also a custom GPU as well, built on the AMD RDNA architecture, with ray tracing. It just works. Ray tracing, it just works. Which was one of the big problems with the 2080s. Confirmation of a solid state drive as well. I mean, that had to be an absolute. There was no way that you could, neither when the PlayStation 5 gets announced, there's absolutely no way in hell they can have HDDs anymore. They must have solid states. If they have HDDs, there's just no point in picking them up. There really isn't. There's just no point in picking them up. With the cost of SSDs coming down, it's an absolute, it's an absolute must. So yeah, confirmed, as you would imagine. They say that it's going to handle 4K at 60 frames a second. Now, Microsoft saying that, I do believe it. I do believe it, because that's what they really want to push. They really want to push frame rate as well as resolution. The 4K PlayStation Plus, of course, is upscale 4K. It's not native 4K. So it's definitely not as good as the Xbox One X when it comes to 4K. So yeah, I totally believe that they'll go for that, and they're also trying to go for VRR, which is variable refresh rate, of as well, and 8K capability. An 8K capability, it's going to be a thing because TVs are already moving into 6K and 8K now as well. So it is going to be a thing at the end of the day. So guesstimates are going out of what the specs will actually be. So guesstimates are speculating that the CPU will probably be 8 cores at around 3.5 gigahertz. The custom GPU, as mentioned, 13 gig of RAM, and 16 in total, 3 gig for operating system, 13 for the games. And then solid state drive, which will be a custom solid state drive as well. So I don't think we'll see like Samsung SSDs in there. I think Samsung have had their issues with Microsoft and Xbox in the past, and they'll be fine. And they reckon it's probably going to be twice as powerful as the Xbox One X, and will be approximately 4 times more powerful than the Xbox One. So, okay. Price-wise, again, no prices have been announced as yet. Speculation is it's going to be around the $500 mark, $499, which means that the likelihood for us here in like the UK and Europe and stuff like that, we're probably going to pay £450 to £500. We won't get, the conversion rate. I very much doubt. I very much doubt we're going to see it in the UK at £399. If we do, wow, I would think that would be pretty damn good, to be honest with you. Release date, most of the Xbox consoles come out in November. Now, they did say holiday 2020, which is October, November, December. But the Xbox 360 came out November 22nd, 2005. The Xbox One was released November 22nd, 2013. So the likelihood is probably November again. And they have said it will have backwards compatibility with 4 generations, which is good. It should be free. Wireless console controller. The controller kind of looks a little bit more based on the Elite controller. Seems to be a blend of the Elite and the regular controller, from what we can see. So interesting stuff. I'm a console player. I love my consoles. I love my PC. I've got no problem with both architectures. I know some people go, PC Master Race. Yeah, fine. Whatever floats your boat. But what we've seen now, of course, is 1 year, because it's essentially a year before launch, Microsoft have played their hand. They've played their hand. So we know what the console looks like aesthetically, and we've got an idea of the power of it and what it's going to have. Sony have not released any of the details yet for the PlayStation 5 in terms of aesthetic or architecture inside. So now I suppose they do have a little bit of time until they make their announcement to make any tweaks, adjustments that they think they might be able to make, potential improvements should they need to, or if they've seen this and they're just like, oh no, okay, all right, we're happy with what we got. And if so, does that mean we're going to get a very, when I say quick announcement, quicker than you think, probably early next year, maybe January, just leading into February, announcement of the PlayStation 5 to kind of gazump the hype or whatever it is. It's always nice when a new console comes out. But we'll see. We'll see. Or whether or not they're just going to take the time, and when they're ready, they're ready. Which I personally think is the better idea. Don't get too engrossed with what your competitor's doing, as long as you're doing the right things yourself. There's no doubt, you can't deny it, PlayStation have absolutely dominated this console generation. Microsoft, the previous, but this one has certainly gone to PlayStation. And that is going to hold them in good stead if they do the right things. The biggest mistake I think that Microsoft made going into this generation is once more they tried to tout the Xbox as more than it was. It's an entertainment system. Hey, you can fantasy football your fantasy basketball, basketball baskets. And people are just there, we just want to play fucking games on it. You can plug it into your front room and have it as an entertainment for the house. Here's daughter coming back from school. Nobody fucking cares! We want to know if Master Chief's on it. So it was a huge drop of the ball. I can't see Sony making a similar mistake. Yes, I think Sony might have a problem in the next generation with exclusives, because Microsoft during this generation have been building up, more relationships with other companies, etc. So there should be a much greater variety of exclusivity for the Xbox this time around than last time around, where it just got absolutely dominated by the PlayStation. But the PlayStation have big boys. They do have the big boys. You know, they've got an unbelievable relationship with people like Sony. They've got an unbelievable relationship... Sony. I want to go into Square Enix, sorry. Unbelievable relationship with Square Enix, which gets them a lot of exclusivity, as we've seen with Final Fantasy VII Remake. They've got an unbelievable relationship with Hideo Kojima. Hideo Kojima is hot. He is hot right now, regardless of what you thought of Death Stranding. I know it's a divisive game. But a lot of people absolutely adored it. I think it's a great game. I thoroughly enjoyed playing it. I'm still playing it. So they got that. They got Naughty Dog. You know, they got some real big hitters, though, when it comes to exclusivity. So Microsoft still have a lot of work to do. And before, I'm just going to wrap this up now, because I know I've been going on for a wee bit. Before people start to get a little bit concerned about, yeah, but what about all my games and stuff? Look. The backwards compatibility is going to allow you to play all your old stuff anyway, so don't worry about that. And these coming out, the PlayStation 5 and the Xbox Series X coming out, I'm going to tell you right now, it's not going to destroy the PlayStation 4, and it may have an effect on the Xbox One, because obviously sales are pretty slow for that. But it's not going to destroy the previous generation at all, because they're going to become cheaper, and... there is so much availability for it right now. So people who aren't necessarily able fiscally to shill out for the consoles, especially if they're both coming in at 500 quid, that's a grand that you've got to come up with. And that's, you know, for a lot of people, that's not easy money, folks. You know, it's easy for some, it's fine. But it's not. For a lot of people, that is not easy money to get your hands on. Particularly when you've got other... priorities to look for. So your previous console generation, don't sweat it. You're going to be fine. It's not going to go anywhere. People are still going to create plenty of games for them. And the current generation are just going to try and find ways to put it onto there before we get to that sort of breaking point where the previous generation really fades and people are just purely focused on next generation production on the consoles. So I can't see that happening for probably another 2.5 years. So I think there's still plenty of life to be had there. So there we go. If you want, again, a video about the Game Awards, it's just going to be an absolute roast fest. Like this video, comment in the description box down below. Do something that will give me an indication that you want to see it. Anthem for life! And I hope you enjoyed the vid. If you did, then give it a thumbs up. And also subscribe to the channel. Follow me on social media and Twitch for live streaming. Links are in the description box down below. And I'll be back with some more stuff very soon. You take care. Bye for now.